I won't be defeated. I think I know we get some feedback. I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, just if you got another device on or something like that, cut it off. Man, I tell you, man, technology sucks.
I know. My
Man,
other device is cut off.
oh, it did?
My phone is cut off. I got the phone off.
Okay, well, good, man. It's just one of them things, man. I tell you, man. Hey, but we in here, man. We in here like swimwear, man. Y'all know how I do it, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another show, and this is gonna be a good one. And I'm gonna introduce my guest in a minute, but you know how I do it. If you don't know how I do it, then you're gonna find out how I do it. You're gonna find out today. You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn. So before we get started, and before I introduce my guest, and I don't call these interviews, I call them conversations. Before I introduce my guest, let me ask you this one question. One question and one question only. In one word, describe Evelyn, Dr. Evelyn Denise Hip Hill. One word. How would you describe yourself?
Brave.
Brave.
Yes.
Man, there it is. Brave in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, far and wide, near and close, I have my friend on the phone, well, in the studio via our streaming solution. Man, it's a pleasure to have her. She's an author. She's an advocate, domestic violence advocate, and a two-time domestic violence survivor. In the building, I'd like to welcome Dr. Evelyn Denise Hemp Hill. Y'all give her a round of applause, guys. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. Don't do too much. Yes, ma'am. They just wouldn't stop clapping for you.
Thank you.
They just wouldn't stop clapping for you. How you doing today?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for
Great.
asking. I am doing absolutely well. Man, so it's been my pleasure to have you come on with me, and talk about your story, talk about your journey. But before we get into anything, man, we're gonna gradually step into this thing.
Okay.
Gradually. All right. So life for you. You're a two-time domestic violence survivor. Let's talk about early childhood. Let's just go back a little bit here and talk about life as a child growing up. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Okay, Rock Hill. You said Rock Hill, South Carolina, right?
Yes.
And that's close by where?
Charlotte, North Carolina. It's 25 miles south of Charlotte.
Excellent. And that's pretty much what I wanted to get out of you. So you near the Charlotte area.
Yes.
Okay, growing
Yes,
up.
I did.
All right. Talk about your parents for a second, if you will.
Well, I did grow up in a single parent household. My
Okay,
mom and dad, they never got married, but you
they were
know,
together.
they were together at some point.
Okay. So mom and dad, you grew up with mom and dad. Have any siblings? Do you have any siblings?
I'm the oldest of three other siblings, but we have another few siblings outside by my dad. But
Oh,
from my mom, I have three other siblings. I'm the oldest.
okay. Okay. All right. So you the oldest out of three. Is it girls? Your mom had all girls?
Two girls and two boys.
Oh, your mom had two. Okay. So it's all right. Four of you guys. All right.
Yes.
All right. And Miss Maggie Jane Cunningham. That's her
Oh,
name.
yes.
Miss Maggie. All right. So, and you grew up in Rock Hill 4 sisters. You the oldest of all of them. Four, I mean, 2 sisters, 2 brothers. 4 y'all total. So you got a
Yes,
sister and 2 brothers, basically.
yes.
And uh, middle school, how was that? What was that like? Middle school.
Middle school is where it was good. It was good, but at the end of middle school is when I met my first footstool
Why you call them a footstool?
because
Is that a
everything I didn't want to use their names and everything that happened, they just elevate me. They're part of the story.
okay? So guys, what we're gonna get ready to get into now, see if you can see on the back of her backdrop back there, this is her book, man. She wrote a book, um, Evelyn, the advocate, the advocate. So we're gonna get into some of this here. So we and I in the link in this by in the link of this podcast, you can go and click the link. You can find a book. You can find all the good things in there. But man, she got a very interesting story. Very interesting story, man. So we're just gonna go and flow and just have fun talking about it, man. But it's real stuff, man. It's domestic violence month, right? And you told me earlier today, could have been yesterday before we even got on, that we need to talk about domestic violence more than just the month of October, correct?
That's correct
Yeah,
because it's an everyday, almost every minute occurrence
yeah,
all
yeah.
over the world.
For a lot of people, and
Yes,
more than you know. So you grew. So mom was single. Mom was you was raised in a single parent home. Not that have any bearing on what you went through, but now you mentioned this footstool. This guy that you met at the end of middle school. What were you going into high school when this all things started to matriculate?
I was going into high school
In the ninth
and
grade.
ninth grade, going into the 10th grade, and I used to hang around my grandmother's a lot,
Uh huh.
and I just changed all of a sudden. I don't know. I guess puberty must have caused something to happen, and I just changed.
When you say change, I mean what significant change did you saw that made? I mean, you say you changed. What identified the change that you recognized?
I was very studious before that, and I was real serious about school. But when I met my first footstool, all that changed. I just didn't wasn't focused on anything but that relationship or that situation.
And you that relationship then, how old was he at the time?
He was a couple of years older than me. I think 5 years older than me, if I'm not mistaken.
So now we're talking about ninth grader with the senior then, or someone that probably already out of high school,
Yeah,
1 year out
yeah,
of high school.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's not really back in the day, that's not that uncommon, you know. Back in the day. Yeah. So how old were you? I mean, how old were you at the time?
I was 15, just getting ready to turn 16. I was
Okay.
the new kid on the block. I had just came back from Baltimore. I lived with my dad for a short while in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
when I met the first person.
The first footstool. Okay.
Yeah.
And talk about that relationship.
It wasn't very good. It was unhealthy. And because I was kind of, you can say I was isolated growing up, never had a conversation about domestic violence and really didn't know what was happening at that time.
Okay. I'm did it start right away? Because
It happened very quickly. Yes, it did. It happened. It started happening right away. Yeah, because after when I at the end of my 15th year of age, I met him when I was 16. And
uh-huh.
then we conceived a child, and I had the child when I was 16. So everything happened fairly quickly.
What made you at that moment when you were 16? What made you? You say you saw a change. What made you focus more on him rather than yourself at that time?
Just being naive and immature, because I was nothing but a kid,
Mm-hmm.
not even realizing what was happening.
Did mom and dad try, or what mom? Did mom try to talk you out of it, or
Oh yeah, yes,
and
yes.
and you was rebellion?
I rebelled and I done exactly what I felt like doing, and I made some bad choices.
Yeah, and you had a baby at 16 years old. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, and you was a young mom.
yeah.
What happened after the baby?
Well, I decided that it wasn't just me anymore, and it had to be a change. I had to change because I had a child and I had to be responsible for, my child. So after a while, I think we were together between the most is 5 years. I
Oh,
started to decide that I wanted to end that relationship because it was very unhealthy.
so okay, so what was some of the unhealthy things that was involved in that relationship?
Physical abuse, verbal abuse. It was just an unhealthy situation all the way around.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of physical. Uh, it was
Yes,
so it sounds like so in that case to me what it sounds like when you find older guys dating younger women or young females, they become very control. What domestic violence is all about control anyway.
it
So I
is.
imagine he was controlling you, trying to isolate you in some ways where you didn't have no friends or you could only depend on him. Was those some of the things that you had to go through?
That was some of it, but I have to be honest because I was so naive and really wasn't aware of what a relationship was. I allowed that person to consume me also. So I got to be transparent because I'm a transparent person.
You
I
allowed
can't.
to go ahead.
Mhm.
You say you allowed the person to consume you.
Yes, I
What
thought that that was a relationship that I wanted and that I needed to be in.
when you say consume, I mean what does that entail? Just
I
so the
just
people that's listening can understand what you mean
for
by
the people
consume.
that's for the people that's listening, it was just all about them to me.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Your sole purpose, sole focus was on him.
Yes,
Yeah. Although you guys would be in physical altercations and all that, what would he tell you when you get in those physical altercations? I'm just trying to paint a picture for the people that because there's somebody out there going through a similar
yes,
situation, exactly what the one that you were in and the one that you fought so desperately to get out of, and the one that you now is a advocate, you know. So I'm normalizing this conversation right now. That's what I'm doing. You
yes,
know, not saying that it's a normal thing, but we got to normalize it to a certain degree where people can freely talk about it and open up. Somebody right now on this live feed is going through a situation where they met someone and that someone they they allow themselves to consume that person as they they want to get away because now it's real physical and it's real harm caused. And this is what Evelyn does. Dr. Hemp Hill. She's a motivational speaker. She's an advocate. We need to let people know that it's a safe place where we can talk about these things and also find some healing, some hope. Yeah.
after all the violence and stuff, I knew because I had a child involved,
Yeah.
I did not want to lose my life and I didn't want to do anything to anybody else that would get me locked up for the rest of my life. That's what kind of situation it became. It became very volatile.
Yeah. And you say lose your life. Did you feel like you was afraid for your life at some point in time?
At times it was scary.
Yeah.
It was scary at times. The
Yeah.
relationship was.
All right. So now, what made what was the turning point for you that say, okay, hey, this is, I know you say you got a child, but make it clear. What was your uh, uh okay, this is it. Because
Number
I'm
one, my child,
uh-huh.
and providing a home and things that the child needed, that he was my priority. My
Yeah.
focus went from that relationship to taking care of my child, because my backstory is I had a lot of responsibility growing up with my siblings.
Yeah.
I did come from a home that was full of love,
Mm-hmm. Speak on it.
and I just wanted my child to experience the same thing. And I did not want him to grow up in a situation like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how old were you when you ended with the first footstool?
23.
23 years old.
Yes.
From 16, maybe 15 to 16 to 23 years old.
Yes, but mind you, we were not together that whole time. We had broken up prior, but it took me a while to actually get rid of the person, because they kept saying that they still wanted the relationship and I didn't want the relationship anymore.
Were you when you decided to say you didn't want the relationship no more, were you still intimate with him?
No, not really, because when I ended that relationship, I had to basically call the law enforcement just about every day for this
Oh,
person to understand that it was over.
he was stalking you basically. It just yeah,
It was a lot of problems ending that relationship. Yes.
yeah. Are y'all friends today?
You know what? No, I'm not friends with him, but
But
I,
cordial.
for the record, I don't hate anybody.
Yeah. I I ask because it's a question, man, where when some people can't see that far, or some people don't, really get to a point where they are ever cool with the abuser, the one that caused them harm. But then again, there's some people that that come to terms with the whole situation and say, hey, you know, like you said, I don't hate nobody. It's something that I went through. Um, I lived through it. I made my way. It's in God's hand.
Yes, I'm
You
not
know.
friends with either one of them. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other one then. So
Uh,
at 23 years old, you out of this relationship. Bring me up to date to the next relationship, if you will.
can I say, prior to this, after I got out of my first relationship, I did go and get educated at a local technical college.
Yeah. You was
Got
doing some technical stuff in the midst of that relationship, wasn't you?
I was trying, but that
Okay.
relationship was interfering with everything I tried to do. So I was
Okay.
not able to really do that while I was trying to deal with that relationship. But after that relationship finally ended, I did gain some education and I gained a job.
Okay. What
And
kind of education did you gain?
I gained an associate's degree in business back in
Mm,
1995.
okay. And you you start working at where at that point? You got
I
your
worked
degree,
at a, I
associates
was,
in business.
yes, I was a secretary, an executive secretary at a public health center.
Like when you say health, are we talking about like um, physical health or
Medical care. They
medical
provide
care?
medical care.
That's what I should have said. I'm sorry. I
That's okay.
I apologize. Hey guys, I'm talking to Evelyn Denise Hemp Hill, Dr. Evelyn Denise Hemp Hill. She wrote a book, and here's the book. It is Evelyn, the Advocate. Guys, look in the link. You can see on this video. You can see how you can purchase this book on Amazon, man. Go get this. Go get it, man. Show some love. Get a copy of this book. We're gonna be talking about this book for about a week. I'm gonna make sure I keep the link up. And if you guys are interested in this book, we're gonna sell some of these books, man. Because guess what? every time you purchase a book, you helping Evelyn in her cause and what she's doing and the work that she's doing, the work that God has blessed her to do.
Yeah.
Yes. So you educated yourself and you start working at this health
Health
clinic.
center. Yes, a clinic.
Okay. What bring us up to speed to the next guy, the next footstool?
Okay, the second footstool, I got a part-time job, and that's how we met in a department store. I was probably around 26, and at that time, I was kind of getting to the age where I felt like I wanted to settle down because I had my child and he was
Mm-hmm.
getting older,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just me and him for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I met the second person, and things happened pretty quickly with me and them. I was 27 when we got married, and that happened fairly quickly. And I can say I was still naive at the time.
You were 20. You met this guy. You was 26 when you met him. At
Yeah,
20, at 27, you got married because you
yes.
was ready to settle down. And what made you? What was your attraction to this guy?
I thought that this guy was different because I was surrendering my life to God at the time,
Yeah,
and they led me to believe that they
we're doing the
had
same thing.
surrendered their life also.
Yeah. What were some of the warning signs that you knew? I mean, before you even physically got in an altercation with this guy, what are some of the warning signs that you know that this may be a similar situation, or but you're gonna wait it out because you're not really sure. You
It
know.
was a lot of mental abuse and emotional abuse in that with the second footstool.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot of physical altercations, but it was mental and emotional.
What are some of the things that you recognize that was mental? Uh,
The way
that
he treated my son, the way I think he was very jealous of the relationship
with your
that my
son.
son and I had, and he was not really nice to him at all.
Mm,
And that was really the breaking point.
okay. Now, what are some of the things that was a breaking point for you for what to leave that relationship, or that was like
It was a major eye opener for me.
okay.
And it just caused me to be cautious
Mm-hmm.
within that marriage. I always kept that in the back of my mind that it made me feel uneasy the way he treated my son. I didn't like it.
Yeah. And when you would say things to him, what was his response? Like, it didn't sit well with you. So I'm sure you probably say, man, I can't sit back. I gotta say
He would
something.
just gaslight and try to act like nothing is happening,
Yeah.
try to make me question my own mental
Yeah.
status. And I'm seeing what's happening, but he would always make me question myself. And then he would change for maybe a couple of days or a week, and then it would go back to his normal ways.
Mm. Did he have kids of his own?
Not that I know of,
Okay.
but he and I did have a child later, 7 years after we got married.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And how long were you in that relationship?
We were married for 12 years on
Oh,
paper.
12 years on paper. Um, and he did a lot of like you mentioned, he did a lot of mental
Mental,
abuse. Was it
emotional,
emotional?
financial.
Okay, so he withheld money from you.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm assuming they used to go on trips without you and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. It's
Yeah.
in the book.
Yeah.
He would always go on trips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so um, did he say derogatory statements to you, made you feel less than a woman, or
No, I think he probably knew not to do that. He would do it in a sly way, but not right out. It was
oh,
more psychological.
okay. And the reason I say that because that's a common thing. And
Yeah.
again, I'm talking to Dr. Evelyn, but I'm also talking to the people that may be listening and the people that will listen and go back and listen and look, coming. a common thing in abuse is really just talking down to your significant other and making them feel insignificant in a lot of ways, you know. Um, and sometimes, they, you know, they say things and have you question the validity of what they're saying.
That's called gaslighting.
Yes, they would say, you know, exactly. They would say, you know, we'll call you ugly, have you questioning your appearance, just call you fat, have you questioning, you know, the way you look. Nobody won't want you because look at what you got. You know, you got this, you got that. You know, so who's going through that? If you're going through that and you have went through that, drop it in the comment section, man, because these are the things some of the things, because so many more that we
Yeah,
could talk about. But I'm just mentioning those things off the top of my head because I'm talking to the doc right now, and it is what it is. You understand? So you know, it's tough to break yourself away from this kind of abuse.
it is.
And people often say emotional abuse is even worse than physical, you know? So,
I think so. I think it was.
yeah. Yeah, because, man, when you say certain things, man, it stays in that psyche. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
don't go. A bruise will heal. You know what I'm saying? You know it will. But when you start playing with a person's mind and their mental health and their psyche, man, and you beat them down so much, man, it's a hard place to come back from.
It is.
Yeah. So, what made you leave this guy? I almost call that boy a buster. Lord have mercy. Come on, Lord.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have a big issue with one of my pet peeves is definitely men that abuse women, and I have my own reasons for that, though.
Hmm.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, I gotta be transparent on the show. You have a lot of followers, and I
Yeah.
want to be truthful
Hmm.
because this case is serious. It's public. It happened in South Carolina. I ended up having an affair after all the years of abuse.
Mm.
I just had an affair and didn't want to be with the person that I had the affair with, but I was just so beat down. I was beat
Oh,
down.
are you preaching? God, man.
So
Go ahead. Go
my
ahead, Evelyn.
spirit man, it just got beat down so much, and I stepped out of the marriage. But the whole time, I was being mistreated and experiencing domestic violence.
Mm.
And when I made that mistake, my second footstool ran to the courts and
Oh,
he applied for a divorce. He requested a divorce.
uh-huh.
And we had the child at the time.
Right.
I basically was taking care of the child alone because
Mm-hmm.
he was never around.
Oh, man.
And so all of the money, all of the finances that he kept from me, he
It
used
stopped.
that to against me in court.
Mm. Mm. He knew. Did he go right away when he found out? When he figured out that you were with
Yeah,
someone else, he went
yeah,
right away, huh?
yep.
Yeah. So now you mentioned that you went to this guy, but you wasn't really into this guy. You was just looking for a safe haven, basically. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but that's
Yeah.
what I understood.
Well, that's what it was. I never loved the person. It was just something to do something different than what I was doing.
Did you know this guy? Did you have a
No,
prior? Yeah,
I
yeah. So
met this guy.
okay,
No.
you met him. All right, and and I'm not gonna get too much. I don't want to get too much in your personal business, but this is a book. You've written this all in the book. It's
Yeah.
and if guys, I'm coming at you again right here. Look at this camera. Look at this book. Is Evelyn the Advocate? Go get this book. It's the link is in the caption of this video, this live podcast. Go get this book, man. We're gonna be promoting this book for a minute. Look, man, this is a powerful powerful story. Um, talking with Dr. Evelyn Denise Hip Hill. She's an advocate. She's a motivational speaker. And she's an author. You know, she's doing some great work. And guys, we're normalizing the conversation about abuse, domestic violence. That's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
Evelyn, you 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
you beat down,
Yes.
you met someone to confide in. Did he knew your did you tell him your story, or did you confide in him at any point?
I made the mistake of confining in that
Yeah.
person, and that person used that information, and some wicked things happened.
After that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that was kind of used against you in court too.
It was. The
Yeah.
court didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
Yeah.
I informed the court about the domestic violence. Everything was ignored.
Yeah.
I ended up hiring 4 different attorneys. I went in front of 4 judges trying to fight
So
for
you just became a cheater. That's pretty much how they painted the picture.
they. I was charged with adultery in civil court, and that was the end of everything. That was the end.
Yeah. Oh, Evelyn, I mean, Doc, let me say this. Throughout okay, let's not talk, okay, we passed that first footstool. Let me focus here, because this is where my understanding that you are in court, right? I mean, you have been in court fighting this case for a minute now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so at this moment, you saying that you was charged with adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any records of this abuse beforehand? Did they call the
I mean,
cops? And, you know, like when you would go through this mental abuse, because it wasn't physical, I guess it wasn't no need to call the cops.
but what I should have done was went to therapy myself. I kept
Yeah,
trying to encourage the person to go to therapy, and
yeah,
they declined. But what I should have done was got some records with
yeah,
the therapist
yeah.
and
You need
got
some.
some documentation, and that way my case would have been stronger. But the court wouldn't allow me to introduce any evidence into the case because my first attorney did not show up. So they got me with a default order. So they wouldn't accept any evidence that I presented to them.
That is strange, man, because normally the courts is on the woman's side.
I don't know what happened. This happened in Chester, South Carolina. That is a small town, and things happen differently in Chester.
Okay, okay,
So that's what happened. I can't understand why they did that, but in the meantime, a child was stuck in the crossfire.
yeah,
And after I retained all these attorneys, ended up spending over $100,000 paying legal fees and child support. I went to God because I couldn't believe that all these things were happening, and I had experienced domestic violence. I felt like it took me back to my first footstool, and I felt like not much had changed when it came down to the courts in South Carolina. When it came
hmm
to domestic violence, it seems to me that South Carolina is number 6 in the nation, and they still re-victimize victims of domestic violence.
mm. Wow. Mm.
And so after going to court so many times, I had to surrender the situation to God because I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. I would not give up that fight.
Well,
These,
rightfully so, though. You know, I can see how
yeah,
you fighting. You trying to fight a good fight. You know, you in this thing, man. But man, it's. But I hear some regrets, and I mean, and what I've heard, that you wish that you would have gone to counseling. because you had no records of your abuse, and the way they looking at it, which is, uh, now they trying to say, I guess he denied any abuse, of course, right? Because he
Yeah,
would. Yeah, I
yeah.
never did this, I never done that, and you with this guy. So it's almost, they trying to paint they trying to paint the picture
Oh,
basically.
they painted it. They
Yeah,
painted it. They did a good job at painting it, but I felt defeated,
right.
but then I surrendered everything to God
What
and I kept
happened?
fighting. God kept giving me strength. And
Mm-hmm.
after I hired those four attorneys that had taken all that money, I went
Mm-hmm.
to God and I asked God for help. I said, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
When I had the last attorney, they really weren't helping me when we were in court and we kept going back for custody.
Mm-hmm.
We were in court and that person really was not talking, really was not assisting me or anything. And I had a feeling to come over me, and the Holy Spirit said, you have an enemy in your camp. The Holy Spirit said that your enemy is that attorney, and
Mm.
you have to fire that attorney in order to be heard. So I
Wow.
followed the instructions of the Holy Spirit and I released that attorney. And I said, God, what am I going to do now? I was in my government apartment that I had,
Mm-hmm.
when I left the marriage. I said, God, what am I going to do now? And the Holy Spirit directed me to go to my kitchen table because I didn't have any money or anything. I went to my kitchen table. There was a letter on my table. It was about an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I cashed in that insurance policy to get the third attorney that I had. And then, like I said, I'm gonna move on to the fourth one. I fired him and I said, what am I gonna do? And then I went to the computer and I
Uh-huh.
found a loophole in the law and I was able to get back into family court myself as a pro se litigant. I went in and represented myself. God allowed me to do that.
Mm.
Gave me a way in, and I was able to inform the court of everything that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
I got every papers filed, and I went in representing myself. People were testifying, witnesses were getting dismissed. It was like a real case. Nothing changed with that case. I still lost the case, but then God allowed me to file in the South Carolina Court of Appeals, and I fought in that court for 2 years, but I really didn't feel defeated. I was angry at the time, but God was allowing me to file all this paperwork,
Uh-huh.
all this evidence that had been hidden,
Right.
that was never presented to the court. And that way, this is where that book came from. I was able to file the evidence and get everything clocked in. And it did allow me to expose the system in South Carolina, the family court system. I was able to expose them by being able to file the paperwork.
Right. But you still in court right now though.
I'm out of court. We got out of court in 2021.
Okay, 20, okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yes,
You got out of court 2021. You still lost the case though.
I lost the case.
Yeah.
I did.
But you exposing them in your, that you're exposing the animal, the beast in your book.
That's what that book is about.
Okay.
And it's #1 on Amazon in domestic family law relations.
Okay. Um uh man, that is big. The book is #1.
It is.
That's big.
I would
Now,
like to thank Triumph Press Publishing Company for that because they published the book.
Well, they did a good job, man. I breezed through it, and man, you got a bunch of you got pictures in there when you're younger. You know, it really shows a good timeline in there. That's what.
Everybody's enjoying that book. Everybody that gets that book has thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, yeah. It's a good read. You know, um, you did a good job on this.
I poured my soul into that book
Yeah,
because
I
that book was my lifeline after all the pain.
was
God
it
allowed. Mhm.
was it therapeutic just to write that book to get it all out?
Oh my goodness. That book is really how I really became healed. I had been going to therapy and counseling and stuff that helped, but when I wrote that book, it seemed like the world was lifted off my shoulders. It was my truth.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question too. Have you gone to therapy?
Oh, yes, therapy and counseling. And I really got to know myself. And I had to find out while I was making some of the bad decisions that I was making in the past. And I would like to tell everybody my childhood wasn't perfect. I had a lot of responsibility. I had to deal with my wounded parts from being a child.
Mm,
Things happened that I never dealt with that I carried with me all this many, many years.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
that contributed to me getting into these unhealthy relationships.
What when you say some things happen? Do you care to share any of those things? Uh,
I'll just say I didn't have a chance to be a child. And
okay,
I do not blame my mom for this because that's how it was back in the 70s.
yeah, yeah. You didn't have a, but you can't blame mom anyway because you said earlier that you was a little fat. You were
Oh,
fast.
I was a piece of work now. I'll be the first
Yeah,
one to say that.
yeah. You know, and it's okay, man. Because hey, you know, the bottom line is I wouldn't say bottom line, but what growing up, man. Like you said, you were young. You transitioned to one phase and one stage of life to the next stage of life. It's all that makes us who we are today.
Yes,
You know, it is, man. Sometimes, we go through a lot just to get where we are. But
we do.
through the grace of God, that we make it through the storm and we able to get on the other side and you still give him the glory. I'm not trying to preach, but it's just what it is. And you pray that you live long enough to make it through those difficult times to be the person that God intended you to be. Now you
Yes,
walking in your purpose right now.
yes,
You know, you writing your books. You helping other young people. I'm hoping that somebody who is young,
yes,
even a kid or a teenager, can stumble across this video and learn something or can resonate with something that you said or what I said that can say, you know what? It seems like I'm headed down the same path as Dr. Hemp Hill went through. And this guy's not treating me right. He's dogging me out, so to speak. And I heard what she said. And I'm not gonna do what she did because she's telling me not to. I'm doing the opposite. That's what we hope to do from this whole conversation
yes.
is change somebody's mind.
And if I can intervene,
You
I
sure
have to
can.
say
This
this.
is this your show. What you talking about? Go ahead.
Okay, I have to say this now. These guys have to watch out for some of these girls too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
brought this up in a show before that I was in a relationship at one point in time where uh, this female, this young lady was physically abusive to me, So it happens, you know, it happens.
yeah,
Yep. And I never put my hands on anybody, you know. And And I'm not a small guy either, but you know, it happens. And when you recognize it, you got to do something about it. But on the other side of this whole thing, I witnessed it, you know. So I saw it growing up myself,
I
firsthand.
did too.
And I know what it does to a young, impressionable mind, you know. It had me growing up being an angry person,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't physically angry. It just made me dislike males. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was very easy with females, but very I was don't get me wrong, I wasn't no aggressive person, but I can go there if you want to go there. You know what I mean? I can easily go there faster,
Yeah.
real fast, if I felt like I was being tested enough. But it made me angry, and I had to ask God to work with me on that. I remember when it actually happened, and I had issues with my siblings. Older brother. Some of the things that I seen, and I had to ask God to forgive me. You know, but seeing abuse as a young, see, it's trauma. That's what it is. Really,
It's
is a form
trauma.
of trauma.
Yes.
And there's so many people, and um, I'm not. I'm just talking. It happens in all communities, but I can understand my community, which is a black community. It happens so much in those communities where you don't have the best funding. You don't have you don't. It's impoverished areas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Abuse is prevalent in these communities because you know it's just there. So
Mike, that was my problem too. That was my story too. I was traumatized and didn't really have access to counseling or anything like that. And that contributed to a lot of my mistakes too. I didn't know what was happening.
absolutely, man, absolutely, and thank God, because what happens too a lot of times too when we see these behaviors, either we could become that same person that we
Yeah.
dislike, or we become uh, a, we become the opposite. You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of cases for young men and young males, they do become abusers. Yeah, and I'm not talking about I know women are too. I know guys. I know y'all gonna listen to about what about the females? Yeah, we talking about females too,
Yeah.
but when we see certain behaviors or practice in our households, man, some of us hate it, and we
Mhm.
become the same person that
Yeah.
we hate
Now I'm
because,
not innocent. I used to fight back in some of them situations. I got to put that out there too.
well, I mean,
I used to
you human
defend
too.
myself.
You human. A lot of times when a guy is physically harming a female, it's so much that anybody can take that you become. It's called fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? You come very defensive, and you don't want to die in those situations, so you looking out for yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it don't make the situation any better though.
It doesn't.
It just only exacerbated because it just become very toxic,
Yes,
and the kids are watching it, people around are watching it. It becomes a point of no return.
it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, and but right now, your mission in life, what are you looking for?
My mission in life is to make everybody aware of this domestic violence, make it normal conversations. It's still prevalent because it's being hidden.
Hmm.
And I think that these states, they give their national statistics, but I think it's a lot higher than what is being reported because a lot of victims, they're not going to report it because they feel ashamed or embarrassed. And some of those people end up losing their lives or doing something to someone else and they end up going to prison. because a lot of times it's so difficult to even prove domestic violence.
Mm. Yeah, that was your case. That was your situation.
Yes.
Yeah. You couldn't actually prove it because you had no documentation of it.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a question I was going to ask you. God, come on, come back to me. Um oh man, oh god. So your mission is to speak out, to be a voice, to encourage,
Yes.
to motivate.
Yes. And also the situation, the legal situation.
Mhm. Mhm.
If these people, these officers of the court, if they are not going to do the job, this is part of the hard conversation too,
Uh-huh.
because I am an activist also.
Okay.
They need to be exposed and not re-victimizing people.
Yeah.
The
When you say
officers of the court.
re-victimize, yeah, yeah, yeah. So she's saying, okay, I'm a victim of domestic violence, but when I go to court, they treat me like a victim.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
like,
I'm not important.
yeah, like exactly. Yeah, thank
Like
you for
millions of other people have been treated and dismissed and losing everything for trying to pay legal fees when the people they don't really care about you. You're just another number.
Yes,
But
yes.
I lost custody of my child and they got my money.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about. I don't mean to cut you off, but you
Go
say you
ahead.
lost custody of the child. Yeah, that child was in your. You had a child with your second husband, and you already had one child. You brought that second child. You you brought that first child into this relationship, and then you had another child. Did you get both of your children taken away from you?
My other child was grown because I had
Oh,
my third child. Actually, in the book, it's another
oh,
child that's involved, but my third child was born when my first child was 16.
oh, okay,
So he was practically grown, but there was a custody battle that ensued during the divorce.
okay,
And I lost custody, so the child went to my second footstool.
okay. So now we talk about 3 kids now, right?
Yes, they can find out the other situation concerning the other child from the book.
Okay, got you. Yeah, okay. You're not trying to get. Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, yeah, okay.
The
So,
first two children have the same father, but the last one is by my second footstool, who was my former husband.
all right. Well, hey guys, man, look, I'm not trying to, because at the end of the day, we definitely want to sell the book, and the book is for a good cause. Is to help Dr. Evelyn continue what she's doing, man. And look, this is what this is about, man. It's about the work. It's about you know, supporting Miss Evelyn as she keep doing what she's doing, being a advocate for domestic violence, and also this is her livelihood we talking about. This is how she's paying her bills. This is how she's eating it, and a lot of times, man, a lot of people, man, put they all into these sorts of things, and they go out, step out on faith, and they put they all into what they're doing, and they're looking for us to help them help others. That's all it is. It's really that simple, and and I think it takes a village to do these things. Well, I don't think so. I know so. I know it takes a village for us to do the work and put ourselves and have ourselves make ourselves vulnerable to do the work. A lot of times people don't want to talk about these things. A
Mm-mm.
lot of times people are holding on, like they suffering in silence. it's easy to suffer in silence. It's brave when someone come forward and talk about these things, man. It's not easy either. It's just not easy to put yourself out there to be vulnerable enough to help somebody else who needs the help. And these people, man, are true warriors, true soldiers. That's what they are, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. But we're gonna end in a second. But I appreciate, you having the courage to talk about your situation, all that you've gone through. And we live, man. You understand what we saying? We are live. We ain't we live. I have 2 million people that watch my page. You know
That's
what I
all.
mean? Yeah, so at some point in time, they may not be on. At some point in time, man, this video probably gonna reach 30 to 40 views. I mean, 30 to 40,000 views at some point in time. And it is. Imagine telling your story, allowing yourself to be open to tell your story. Imagine if you had to do this. I'm talking to my people now. What guts that it takes to tell a story. How much are you giving to these people? You got to be brave to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm a stranger too. I'm not, Evelyn don't know me.
Mm-mm.
I'm a stranger, but she's putting herself out there to talk about her life as a domestic violence survivor 2 times.
Yes.
Bro, man, come on, man. God is good. It is though. It's man, my hat goes off to you, man, because like I say, I've seen it, I witnessed it. I've seen some horrific things in my own family. I've seen things that no young kid should ever see.
Me
You
too.
know, yeah. And I talk about my story too. And when I'm doing counseling sessions with young males, because I've counseled young males in the Department of Juvenile Justice, and also drug and alcohol addicts. But I talk about my story, and I talk about it. It's tough, man. So we all suffer from trauma. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we need to go and get your copy, man. Look at the link in your bio, and not in my bio, but look at the link in this video. The link is posted in the caption of this video. And you can get a copy of this book, man. You can support Dr. Evelyn by getting a copy of the book, and I think it's going to be worth your while. And if you know anyone suffering in silence, let them read that book. You think that book will be good for someone who's not willing to talk about it?
I know
Dr.
it
Evelyn?
will be. I
Yeah.
know it'll be really good because, like I
Yeah.
said, in my local town, when the people get that book, they say that they can't put it down.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you another question here. How active are you in your local town, man, with talking about domestic violence?
I was volunteering with a domestic violence organization.
Uh-huh.
But now, since this book is released, I'm trying to reach more people. And when you're just one person and you work full time, you have to manage your time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go more towards becoming a motivational speaker to reach more masses of people, because it's hard when you deal with domestic violence organizations. Sometimes people don't want to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want to come. So I'm asking God to let me go to them.
Okay. All right. So you going to them, not in a physical sense either. You going to them on a social media type of
Yes.
thing, where things are really prevalent. You have a TikTok?
I have a TikTok called Evelyn the Advocate. I also have a YouTube channel called Evelyn the Advocate, and I currently have 2,000 subscribers.
All right. Oh man, let me. Hey, come on, Mike.
And
Let's do
I'm
this.
shocked.
Let me do this. Hold on. There you go, Mike. There you go.
And when it comes down to this book, if you don't mind, I want to give a couple of people shout outs. Like I said, Triumph Press Publishing, they published this book.
Uh huh.
Davita Janine was the editor, and
Oh,
these beautiful pictures came from shots by Brian. He's a photographer
Brian. Big ups to Brian.
in my town. So it took a village to get this written down and made plain so that we can help people.
Okay, so somebody asked me. Yeah, put your book back up there, Miss F. Somebody asked me, how can you get the book? Miss Pickens. Hey, Miss Pickens, how you doing? I can't get to all the comments, but I see you, and you was like you would love to support. Let me just say this: the link is in the caption of this video. If you can find, I mean, you here, so yeah, look at the link. It's an Amazon link. But go ahead, Miss Dr. Evelyn. You tell her,
It's
more.
on Amazon, Miss Pickens, and I would appreciate your support because we need to educate people, number one. And I think that that would be an impact on these numbers that are so high concerning domestic violence because a lot of people lose their lives in situations like this. And secondly, if you don't mind, can I talk about who I am today just a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to give Dr. Faith Franks a shout out because she saw the work that I was doing online and she nominated me for this honorary doctorate degree that I now carry. I would like to shout out the International School of Champions and the Theological Institute, Dr. Sharon J. Brown Miles, and also her husband. They run that school. They're the administrators of the school, and I never thought that I would receive something so prestigious, but you'll never know who's watching you online.
Mm.
They nominated me, and October has been amazing. It's National Domestic Violence Month, and God is so good. I just received this honorary doctorate degree a couple of weeks ago. I'm on your platform all in the month of October.
Mm.
And I just feel so gracious and so grateful for everything. And God allowed me to put in a lot of work. I didn't talk about when I was almost homeless, but that case could have easily made me become homeless because $100,000 is not a drop in a bucket to most people,
That's a lot of money.
like the court system, but God kept me. And actually, I don't work in the legal field. I work in the medical field. I've been in the medical field for about 35 years total. And I'm in hopes of becoming a motivational speaker so that we
Mm.
can free some people from this just by my story.
Excellent. Excellent. Man, yeah, you have a lot of story. You have a lot in this book, and I think when the people read it, man, they're gonna be amazed. You mentioned that you was homeless, but I'm not trying to give a lot of the book away either, but you know, it's gonna be it's a lot, and domestic violence, man. Come on, man. When you married, you go, man, God, your whole life is upside down. Your whole life when you with someone and you build a life with that person, but this relationship is so toxic and so full of trauma, and then
Yeah,
you have to separate from that relationship.
yeah.
Where do you go? Whoa, man, where do you go?
And always tell a family member that you can trust. Hopefully, you'll be able to trust that family member or tell a friend if you're in a situation like this because you have to have evidence. You have to have documentation because if you don't have those things, the legal system will basically say this is not happening to you. We don't
Yeah,
believe you. A lot of times that's what happens, unfortunately.
that is what happens, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. So you gotta, if you're going through it, and you gotta do what she says, man, because who better can tell you what to do than Miss Evelyn? Because guess what? She's been through it. It happened. Tell people how to get in contact with you, and how to connect with you one more time before we end this.
Okay, I'm Evelyn the Advocate on the YouTube channel. I am Evelyn Hemphill on Facebook. Dr. Evelyn Denise Hemphill in parentheses. I'm on Instagram. I'm Evelyn the Advocate on TikTok. And I do have a website, evelyntheadvocate.org. And that website, Amazon is connected to the website
Mm,
in case you want to look at the website and you want to get the book. But it's on Amazon.
man, y'all get out and support. It's been it's been a pleasure talking with you. It's been awesome talking with you, and I want to do my part, help you out as much as I can. We can talk offline with some other ways, but the bottom line is for you to keep doing the work. You know, keep touching young folks, and I mean anybody who's going through a struggle with
Yeah.
domestic violence. This is your
It,
mission.
it can destroy your life. It can, but we need to educate people so that that will not happen. And one last thing, Mike, please. It hurts me to my core when I see females walking around out there using drugs and alcohol and things like that.
Right.
Most likely, they have been in a domestic violence relationship. They have been violated in some type of way, and nobody believed them. But I
Yeah.
want them to know that as an advocate, I do believe you. I believe that those things happen to you. And if you can hear this live, please face your traumas so that you can take your life back.
Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. That's deep. Man, I tell you, it can take you, this thing called domestic violence can take you so many different directions.
Yes.
And if you're not getting the help that you deserve and need, it can take you through it can take you through hell and back.
It you
Yeah.
can lose your life. You can lose everything.
Man, you know what? See, I'm gonna let you go because we can talk about this all day, because here's the reality is that there are people who have lost their life in
Yes.
the midst of domestic violence. I had a young lady on my show who was paralyzed because her husband shot her several times while she was in a bathtub taking a shower. And this guy, a bath, and this guy shot her in the back several times. She had to pretend that she was dead for him to stop shooting her. And when she came out, she was paralyzed from the neck down. This is the reality of domestic violence. So, it can be a it can be a man, it can change your life tremendously. Yeah.
You can.
It's a sad thing, man. And we're not talking about that. That's just a life changing event. That's talking about somebody who was walking at one point in time,
Mhm.
and at a drop of a dime, some coward decide to shoot her while she was in the bathtub, taking a bath. I mean, what kind of monster would do that? A big old grown rusty behind man would take his firearm out and shoot his wife
Mm.
of so many years.
And
Well,
one last thing, Mike, excuse
go
me for
ahead.
cutting you off. family members of these abusive people, stop protecting them. If they're an
Absolutely.
abuser, stay out of it and let the law handle them instead of covering for them.
Mom, sisters, aunties, if you know, if you know your son, your nephew,
Or
your
daughter,
grandson,
or
if you
daughter.
know that, if you know this guy is beating on a woman and you a female, uncles, and you an uncle or a daddy, and you know this, stop that, man. Come on, man. We're a village. See, this is what's wrong with us now. See, you see, Dr. Evelyn, I'm gonna let you go because I could talk all day because listen, man, if we don't say anything, we perpetuating a cycle
Yes,
of abuse.
are. Yes,
That's
we
all
are.
we doing. We saying it's okay. That's what we doing. We saying it's okay, and it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah, man, Lord have mercy, girl. Dr. Evelyn, thank you for
You're
sharing
very
your story. Thank you for this book, man, guys. I'm gonna show it one more time, and I wish, um, hold on. Let me see. Can I do this? Oh, hold on one second. Do I have? I don't have one, but I could have. Instead of doing that, I could have just had. That's what I should have did. I was look. I'm unprepared. I
it's,
supposed to have to cover your book. That's what I supposed to have, and I could have just showed the cover of the book.
we got it though. We got it right
Yeah.
here on
Yep.
Amazon.
Yep. Oh, let me flip that thing around. Hold on one second. There it is. And the whole time I should have had that thing flipped around, but that's okay. There it is, y'all. Y'all see it. That's it.
There it is.
Do yourself some. All right, Dr. Evelyn, Denise, Hemp
Okay.
Hill, The Advocate. Go get your
Oh
copy
yeah.
of the books. God, I'm gonna do what I can to help promote the book for the next week. That's what I do. If you know anybody that wants the book, y'all can hit me up in my inbox too. If you can't find Dr. I mean, it's out there now. Come on, but sometimes
Out there.
people, you want to hit me up, and guess what? I want to hear from you. I appreciate everybody that take the time out to listen to me, to follow me, to be a supporter of what I do. You know, I don't say fans because we support one another. That's what we
Yes.
do. Yeah, we do the best that we can, and it takes a village to reach our people, our young folks, our kids, and we need to learn to support one another in the ways that can help strengthen the village.
That's correct.
I appreciate everybody, man. Thank y'all. I can't. I always tell I love everybody. So, and what we go through, man, if it doesn't kill us, it makes us stronger.
It does.
Yeah.
I walked through that fire and I thank God that He brought me through it.
And guess what? Now you smiling again.
Yes.
You able to do the work. This work, I know this got to make you smile. Doing
It,
what you're doing now. I mean, when you can be selfless and give people some of you,
yes.
man, what better way, man, when you giving is the way, man, when you giving and you see the smile on somebody else's face, I mean, that's priceless.
It's
You
awesome.
it's a great feeling when you giving yourself and you helping somebody else. Even if you got some things that you going through, all of a sudden those things become lighter because you know why? You helping somebody. You're not thinking about your own things. You're
That's
thinking
right.
about how you can help somebody else.
Yes.
And the easiest way to get through things is to give to others.
That's right. I am a giver.
Yeah,
That's
me
why
too.
I gave myself and I
Yeah,
told the story. I put everything out there.
I'm a giver, man. And my wife said, man, we'll be broke if I, like if yeah, because I give, man. I mean, I like to give people, man. My friends all know me, know that I'm a giver. So, and I give a lot of myself. So, Doc, man, we could talk all day, man. So, I'm gonna get with you offline, and guys, man, thank y'all. Help us keep supporting us,
Thank
and
you.
I
But
appreciate everybody who's on, man. So, until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Y'all make sure y'all check me out every Wednesday night. Real Talk with Mike Steele podcast. Got great guests coming on. Some local, some far. But if you know someone that will be a great person to have a conversation with me, y'all hit me up, man. Just shoot it in the inbox. No person is too big or too small to be on this platform. And always, I have to end with this, and this is how I always end my podcast and my shows. We got to take accountability. And the way to take accountability is look in that mirror, right? Look in your camera. Look straight ahead and ask yourself this one question. Are you part of the problem or
mhm.
part of the solution? Which is it? It ain't for me to answer. You need to answer that. So until next time, man, this is Real Talk with Mike Steele. I see you again real soon. Thank
Thank
y'all.
you.
You're welcome. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. There we go. There it is.